When it rains, it often pours, and that's the case in Philadelphia right now, despite the sweltering heat that some of you may be enjoying. After waiving Khalil Tate yesterday, the Eagles announced that they had released another pair of players. They had waived center Keegan Render, and they had released cornerback Trevor Williams. The second player of the two there is one that really doesn't sit well with me, and I'm going to explain why a little bit in this video, but here is everything you need to know about the Eagles' latest roster moves ahead of training camp. Before we get into it though, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this content. It really means a lot to us here at Philly Sports Network. If you could subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing, but don't forget to drop your comments down below on what you feel about today's roster moves, because I'm sure some of you are going to be feeling the same way I am about the release of Trevor Williams. And as always, you can get your daily dose of Philadelphia sports coverage from myself and all of our writers at phillysportsnetwork.com. Alright, so let's dive into the big one first. Trevor Williams is a shock here for me. I personally had him down as a dark horse for the outside role opposite Darius Slay, the cornerback 2 position, which will now, I'm assuming, be fought out between Avonte Maddox and Sidney Jones. He's 26 years old. We know we've gone into a film room and explained why he would be the perfect partner for Darius Slay. At 5'11", 191 pounds, he's of a very similar build to Darius Slay and has arguably been in the same echelon of productivity when healthy, but health has obviously been the big thing here for Trevor Williams, which is ultimately how he ended up on the Eagles in the first place. Without getting too deep into the stats, he played 37 games with the Chargers between 2016 and 18, had 3 picks and 22 pass breakups, but his brightest day was in 2017 when he ranked as PFF's 10th highest corner, allowing a passer rating of just 10.4 on deep throws, which is stunning to say the least. Now, I don't know the reason why Trevor Williams was waived. Maybe there was something to do with injury, but in that case, surely it will be waived with an injury designation and not just flat out released. The other alternative here is that it's COVID related. NFL players have until August 1st to officially opt out of the 2020 season, and it might be that Trevor Williams has decided to go not for me, and by doing that, the Eagles have gone, well, in that case, you're not for us, and have parted ways. I don't know. Again, this is all just speculation. It may just even be that with no preseason on the horizon, with training camp looking vastly different, the Eagles don't really have the time or the resources to take a risk on a flyer. They need certainty, and getting Williams up to speed with the playbook in a few short weeks ahead of the NFL season just might not be as attainable as it would have seemed with OTAs, with training camp, and 4 preseason games where he can go against other competition and prove himself worthy. In that case, it obviously makes sense then to go with Avonte Maddox and Sidney Jones and let those guys duke it out, already familiar with the system, but it then doesn't understand the cutting of Keegan Render either, someone that was an undrafted free agent last year, expected to come in and compete behind Jason Kelce, and even that did look like a bit of a long shot when the Eagles had Luke Juriga signed as an undrafted free agent, and it was hinted very, very early on, of course, that we were going to see 5th round draft pick Jack Driscoll move inside and take some center snaps as well. It was always going to be an uphill battle for Keegan Render, but even so, cutting these guys before they have a chance to even make it to training camp does seem a little bit interesting. Adam Kaplan later tweeted that Keegan Render is actually done with football, so Render not wanting to play football anymore at all. That's why the Eagles have parted ways. We still don't have any clarity on what happened with Trevor Williams, and I suppose one other alternative is that if there is no preseason, there's no real reason to keep the rosters that wide. And it was revealed later in the day that the NFLPA leadership have said roster sizes are expected to be at 80 to start camp, which explains why the Eagles are cutting players. Now, the other reasons mentioned in this video may well still factor into those decisions, but the Eagles have cut 3, meaning they have 7 more to go until the start of camp. These moves will be coming thick and fast then in the coming days, with players set to report to the Novacare complex on July 28th. But it is disappointing to see that Keegan Render has decided to retire, so we wish him all the best in his future endeavours. And my heart honestly breaks a little bit for Trevor Williams, as someone that absolutely fell in love with his tape, couldn't wait to see him go at it in preseason, was absolutely besotted with the idea of seeing him match up against these speedsters and showing them the quality that he had over someone like Ronald Darby last year. Now, I know that's not a good benchmark to set, but that was a starter nonetheless. and only time will tell. But how do you feel, guys? Let me know down in the comment section below. There's a lot coming up here at Philly Sports Network. We, of course, have an interview with Brian Dawkins here tomorrow, premiering at 12 p.m. So make sure you stick around for that one. And of course, some Eagles Film Room content this week, finishing up our rookie series and a little bit more as well. I'll see you next time. Take care.